It's just a fact of life. Players love scoring 5-hole and goalies absolutely hate it. While there are plenty of ways to hit the back of the net in hockey, finding space between the pads means you not only beat the attendee physically, but also mentally. Maybe this is why when we asked our goalie followers on Instagram where their least favorite spot was to give up a goal, they overwhelmingly said 5-hole. It just feels insulting. And since at Along the Ice we love exposing goalies, we're going to do a deep dive in how your favorite NHL players are finding space between the pillows. But here's the twist. In this video, we are only going to break down methods for lefties. So lefty shooters grab a notebook, righties get jealous, and tendies, while you may want to close your eyes, listen carefully. Let's kick things off with the tried and true method of going tweeners, the fake shot backhand. This trick goes all the way back to when the butterfly was invented. Hell, probably before that. For best results, you want to get the attendee to buy the original shot fake. If they do, they'll be forced to play catch up, and typically this is where you see stick positioning compromised, and the legs opening up the widest. It used to be that the fake shot always included a leg kick, but these days even opening up the blade is enough to fake a goalie out if you sell it with your shoulders and hands. This move is more effective for lefties since the goalie's stick is typically in their right hand. At least in the NHL, we normally see 90 to 95% of goalies catching with their left hand. So as a lefty goes to their backhand, the goalie's stick is commonly left behind to counteract the aggressive push-off. Now if the netminder doesn't buy your shot fake, you aren't completely out of luck. The importance of the shot placement just increases. The stick will likely be in position to stop the front side of the 5, as the goalie isn't playing from behind. But if you go against the grain to the trailing foot, there's usually still room there. This can really grind goalies' gears. Of course, righties can do this too. They likely will just have a smaller target, as the netminder stick is usually covering part of the 5-hole, as they use its momentum to drive cross crease. Now deking to the forehand is a bit tougher because goalies likely won't freeze up on your backhand fake as much as they would when you have a shot loaded up. With that said, as always, if you're as smooth as koozie, it can be done. The final deking method is just doing something the goalie union has never seen before. Think of Cooch's no move or Texier's French poke. The element of surprise is the secret sauce here, as when a attendee is confused, their form typically breaks down, or in Drieger's case, they just freeze up completely. Okay, so what if you have terrible hands and you still want to embarrass goalies between the legs? Well, you're in luck, because there are 4 popular ways NHL lefties are doing this, and we'll start with the one that we're calling the lefty cheat code. This is when lefties quickly shoot just inside the attendee's right foot, along the ice. This shot has gone viral recently, and it seems as if all lefties have this in their bag. While Crosby is the first player I noticed using this shot consistently, I think Hintz has officially used this more than anyone else in the league. You'll notice in all of these examples there is no windup at all, as it's not about speed, it's about quickness and accuracy and hitting your mark. If you do all of this, it's almost impossible to save. Watch this one from Lehkonen. It almost doesn't even look like a 5-hole shot as it's so close to that right foot. So why is it such a hard shot to stop? Well, for one, we just talked about the fake shot backhand, and to stop that move, goalies need to keep their feet, specifically their right foot, to push off. This makes getting that pad down very hard and that right foot vulnerable. Also, it's almost impossible to stop it with the stick, as to pull the stick back is way harder than to push it forward. Again, knowing that most goalies have their stick in their right hand. This shot becomes even more deadly if you're able to trigger what we call the pseudo VH. If you haven't been a longtime follower of ours on TikTok and Instagram, you're probably thinking, what the hell is a pseudo VH? Well, prior to Quick making the RVH popular in the 2010s, attendees like Pricer used the VH in sharp angle situations. The idea being that you could kick off the elevated inside leg to make cross crease saves. Now, while this specific technique isn't used much today, the majority of goalies still have this muscle memory built in. So if you could create a scenario where the goalie feels like they'll need to push off, you could force them into the pseudo VH. For lefties who want to go 5-hole, this is an absolute goldmine. Unlike the lefty cheat code, you don't even need to beat the pad to the ice. You just need to hit your mark. And again, just inside the right foot. Like this one from Lundell, where he forces Nedeljkovic to mirror his movements, thus anchoring his right pad. If he just hits his spot, it's an easy goal. Even in the skills competition, we saw Pettersson force Ottinger into a pseudo VH multiple times by taking a common left to right route to the net and holding the puck in a shooting position. And when he does score, you'll see he would have scored even if the shot was going at half the speed, as the pad never gets down. On this Crosby example, Sid receives the puck, and since he doesn't shoot right away, Price believes he's going to go against the grain to the backhand. This slight hesitation causes Price to go into a pseudo VH. Crosby takes advantage and beats Price bad. Remember Matthews' 4-goal outburst in his first NHL game? He also triggered the pseudo VH from Anderson after stripping Karlsson clean. Before discussing our last 2 ways to score 5-hole, please go ahead and support the channel by subscribing to Along the Ice. It means a lot to me and my brothers and will help us in producing more deep hockey analysis for you guys. Thanks. Okay, this next one I love. It's the no-look shot. Players use this when there's a threat of a pass cross crease, mostly in 2-on-1 situations. If you look off the pass, this will force the tenny to try to keep their feet, leaving the deck wide open. For best results, try turning the blade away from the net or even rotating the hips like McDavid did here. So as long as you miss the stick, the puck's going to hit the back of the net. The last method is pretending to shoot high. I'm not going to lie, this works better for righties as they're better natural shooters. More on this in the next video, but lefties can do this as well. I've noticed this the most coming down the left wing and pretending to shoot high glove. The telltale sign that you trick the goalie is that the left pad kicks out and up. In terms of shot placement, you actually should be targeting the middle right 5-hole, as the right pad will go down to protect the lefty cheat code side. This one from McTavish is an amazing example as Omar truly thinks he's going glove side. McTavish sells this with his eyes and the big windup. And that's the difference between this and the lefty cheat code along the ice. It's not about quickness. You actually want to sell a big shot. It's not a quick release, rather a powerful release. Weirdly enough, this seems to work best on 2-on-1s. Not 100% sure on why, but part of me thinks that goalies just believe that on a 2-on-1 there are better options than shooting 5-hole from distance. Even on these Matthews examples, he's not really even selling high at all. The tennies are just desperate and assume he must be going fancy top shelf. Pretending to go blocker side is a bit different. I actually only have tape on McDavid doing this, but I know a few others who have done this as well. To sell below blocker, which has been deadly for decades, he moves the puck from backhand to forehand and shifts his body weight as if he's trying to go far side. This again compromises the integrity of the goalie's stick and opens up the wickets. Now I want to hear from you guys. Which NHL lefty do you think has the best 5-hole shot? And which tactic do you think is most effective? Do you think we missed any? And righties, don't worry, the next video is for you. We're going to talk about ways that you can exploit the 5-hole. So please like this video and subscribe if you don't want to miss out.